Hi, Taylor and Mariana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And
I'm recovering a little sick, but yeah.
I hope you feel better. And it was just your birthday.
I know it was. Damn it.
Come on. Come on. Anywho, let's get into it. So, I asked you this question first. I haven't asked anyone else this question because you would be the doctor I would pick. But of all the doctors on the show, who would you want to be your doctor?
Oh, Robby for sure.
Robbie?
I mean,
Why?
it's only, well, it's just the most experience. Mel makes very calculated decisions, not always good ones, but I think thinking about but well, no, maybe that's Taylor talking. Mel would choose Langdon.
Langdon? Why?
Yeah, because well, as far as Mel knows, nothing's going on there.
True. He's just sweaty. But I wouldn't want a
Yeah,
sweaty doctor.
yeah, it's
Right.
fine.
Yes. So I heard you guys went to medical boot camp. Um, what did you learn from medical boot camp other than to carry a Walla bottle that you've all had so far?
This one's not even the one, it's a different one, but it's the same, yeah, company. Uh, yeah, it's one of those things where I know how to do stuff now that no one should ever let me come close to doing. For all of us, we can put in chest tubes. I performed a crike correctly, apparently, which is like, okay. We can find the central line. We can ultrasound is really fun. I think that was probably the most fun activity we had of all. It's kind of crazy what we can do, and nobody
Oh,
let us do because
that, that is cool. And they actually did give you a Walla bottles there?
yeah. So it was a welcome to the show gift. That was these water bottles, Owala, which even like as soon as I went home with that water bottle, I went, I'm gonna want to buy a lot more. Um, and it just has a sticker put on that's PTMC, and it's got the arches, so it's the logo of the hospital was stuck on, and we were like, "That's cool." Yeah.
That's cool. I just thought, I'm like, oh, they're just really popular now. I've noticed everyone has packed one so far.
If those ones were, this is like off-white, but if those ones were white and gray on top, they're the PTMC ones. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So I also know that all of your characters have backstories, but it seems as if we know a lot of Dr. King's backstory. But is there more that we don't know about Dr. King?
There's a lot more. I think it never comes out in the first season, but like everyone knows that Mel's mom died, but also her dad died before then. So Mel's been a an orphan for quite a while.
That,
Uh, so with the sole caretaker of sister, it's been a lot longer than people think it has. All through med school, it was like, oh, so having to balance both. Also, Mel's such an optimist, she wouldn't bring it up.
yeah,
It's like just to have that for me, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
yes, yes. She isn't one to make things about her at all. But why do you think she ultimately put her sister in this care facility?
I think especially with Rita and Ginger, the storyline of the daughter who's just overworked being the sole caregiver of her mom. It just kind of clarified for me. It seems like there comes a point when you just can't do everything. And like Mel recognized, I'm sure everyone recognizes it too late. No one gets it right on time. It's probably like, I haven't slept in so long. It's like, oh, right. Yeah. And so I think the facility is awesome. It's, you know, a bunch of people hanging out, talking, and it's not me alone with her in a room or her on her own with a caregiver. It's social, crazy social. And so it's the best thing for both of us. And I think Mel probably only operates on what's best for Becca first. And the fact that it's so social. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, you get to have your own friends separate from just us. It's really important.
Yeah. Because Becca seems to be doing fine. It seems that Mel is having a harder time with this transition.
Oh yeah, I think Becca's like, I had a great lunch. We're good.
Yes, as long as you say that you're coming when you say you're coming, like I'm good.
Yeah,
So that's nice. But uh I'll start with the harder scene. Like this was the scene that broke me, as in this was the first time I cried during watching the show, and I'm proud that I've made it so far. Um, Talking to Bella, how was it like filming that scene? It was too much, man.
it was a lot. It was hard. It was definitely hard. She made it easy. She's a good little actor. My God. It was like I said to someone else, it was like the first take I went, okay, I'll step up my game. God, okay, fine. Sorry. I should do better if I'm in the scene with you. Um, she's great. She's easy. And with all that taken care of, and she's also, a lot of little kids especially will be distracted up until they're often better at getting into character quick and all of that stuff. And so I was a little worried it would be like, we're playing and then like switch in, which is tough. But no, it was great. And we did have our little jokes and stuff, but yeah, I just think Mel was like, I cannot cry because I like knew that I had to do you can tell I'm theater because I said I every time. But that she had to be as strong as possible, but also having had a lot of loss, knows that being able to say that thing you need to say is probably the most important part. Um, it's definitely not doctory. It's definitely more nurse-like, I think. Super caring and sticking around even through the hard stuff.
Yes. Do you think Mel walked out just to get the bear, or do you think it was like, I need a moment because this is a lot?
Yeah, I think I think the bear was an afterthought. I think just being in the room was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna freak out and cry and stuff. And so I think it was like, without thinking too hard, it was just like get out, get out, get out. And I think Mel also felt bad, like they needed me. She needed me because, I think Mel's pretty confident with kids. And so it's like, yeah, I should have done something and to run out. And in my head, I self-soothed. I listened to music or just did something to like calm down a bit and then reorganize and come back in. Yeah.
Yeah. For the patient that also had autism, Dr. Langdon seemed like really surprised, and Mel was just like, I just listened. Do you think,
Men, am I right?
yeah, do you think it was really like her military experience or that her sister was on the spectrum, or do you think it's just because she can listen?
I think it's partially a man woman thing of just kind of like, yeah, we know you don't listen. Um, but I mean, Mel didn't say it sarcastically or anything, but definitely knowing what's hardest for people on the spectrum is huge. And it's just like, being able to turn down the lights and close the door and make everything calmer, especially because everyone going into an ER, no matter what, is anxious.
Mhm,
As the doctors told us, they said, remember, most people in here, it's the worst day of their lives. And you're like,
mhm,
oh, yeah, of course it is. This could be one of the worst days of their lives, if not the worst. So, um, yeah, I think just having that in mind and knowing how much worse it is if you are on the spectrum with the kind of stimuli, which affected me a ton as an actor going through, it was really rough. I have ADHD, which is on the same spectrum as autism now, and I had to have some earplugs sometimes, and it's hard. It was really hard, but realistic. But yeah, just to have something to be able to get you a little bit calmer. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think because we're almost on, I believe, hour 9, and there's still so many hours left on the shift. Do you think the wear and tear of all these things that are happening? She's had some wins, like she connected to the resources. The daughter came back, and luckily she was only taking a nap.
Oh,
But do you think all that has happened is eventually, are we going to start seeing the wear and tear of all of that?
oh, for everyone. I mean, it's no shift is supposed to be 15 hours. So it's already like there are 15 episodes, so something goes wrong where it's a lot more hours. Because I think a typical shift is 12. And so it's like already we're going even longer. Yeah, you see wear and tear. I think Mel, with her past, has really learned to do a stiff upper lip and keep going without ignoring emotion,
Yeah.
which is really hard to do. And I think that's probably one of Mel's superpowers is to be able to be empathetic in the situation and still move forward.
Yeah. Which is such a skill to move forward that
Yeah.
people can't do.
It's actually something that we were told. A lot of overly empathetic doctors choose the emergency room because they don't follow the patients. And
I
because
get
they don't get the big backstory, they don't have to talk to the patient's family as they're about to go into surgery. They stabilize and they go like this. And I heard that's like for any doctor who is especially empathetic or wants to do medicine, but they're like, how am I going to deal with that? That apparently that is usually what they gravitate towards.
it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and not canceling this. That means a lot, genuinely. And happy belated birthday, and I hope to talk to you
Yeah,
soon.
do.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.